lads, and welcome back to Light Up the Skies. I hope you are keeping well. As we say, Coney Earth. In other words, take care. Today, I want to talk about something simple and real. Being kind, being patient, being the one who always tries. And what happens when that stops being enough. So for a long time, I believed being kind was enough. I thought if you treat people right, it all comes back around. So I stayed calm. I stayed respectful. I stayed quiet when I should have spoken. I tried to see the good in people, even when they showed me the bad. But here's what I've learned. A lot of people don't respect kindness. They use it. We live in a world where bad behaviour gets defended and good people get overlooked. As we say in Irish, ní abhainn conas agus laig. In other words, silence is not weakness. But many people treat it that way. They stand beside chaos and call it normal. But when someone calm and genuine shows up, that person gets questioned or ignored. And after a while, it wears you down. It makes you tired. It makes you doubt yourself. It makes you think, what's the point? And I'll be honest, I reached a point where something had to change. Not because I want to be bitter, not because I want to be cold, but because I'm done letting people mistake my kindness for permission. There's a difference between being kind and being a doormat. We're told to keep the peace and let things go. But here's the truth. Some lines need to be drawn because it's fear on rinne, ná on tor. In other words, the truth is better than gold. Some people are very comfortable living badly and very uncomfortable being challenged. I'm not saying fight people. I'm not saying be cruel. I'm saying this. Respect yourself. Say no. Be honest, even if your voice shakes. Walk away from people who only value you when you're useful. Because real kindness has boundaries. Real kindness protects your peace. At some point, you stop explaining yourself. You stop proving your heart. You stop trying to be understood by people who don't want to understand you. And that's not giving up. That's growing. That's choosing peace over approval. Here's something important. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves your energy. Some people only understand boundaries. And when you finally draw those lines, life gets quieter and better. I'm still kind, but I'm not blind anymore. I'm still respectful, but I'm not silent anymore. I'm still calm, but I don't tolerate nonsense anymore. That's not anger. That's clarity. Some people don't want peace. They want control. Some people don't want truth. They want comfort. And when you stop playing along, your life starts to change. Quietly, strongly, and properly. So if you're listening and you've always been the kind one, you're allowed to change. You're allowed to protect yourself. You're allowed to stop accepting less than you deserve. Kindness is not self-sacrifice, and growth doesn't always look gentle. Sometimes it looks like distance, and that's okay. So yeah, I'm changing it up. Not because the world made me hard, but because the world taught me to be strong, and there's a big difference. As we say, Tower ira dut fain. In other words, take care of yourself. And just before I go, if you enjoy the podcast and you'd like to support the show, there's a support link in the description. It's completely optional and it just helps keep the podcast going and improving. The podcast will always be free. Even listening and sharing already means a lot. Thank you for being here. And until next time, keep your head up, keep your heart strong, and keep lighting up your skies. Take care.